everyone who is calling in from Argentina to Lithuania and everywhere in between. We're really excited that you're here to join us today for this overview on EducationUSA Academy. I am joined by two wonderful colleagues, Eric Christensen at World Learning. And World Learning is the organization that is helping us to implement this program and administer it. And Eric is the program manager working specifically on EducationUSA Academy at World Learning. And we are also joined by one of your EducationUSA advising colleagues, Claudia Ortiz-Luca from EducationUSA Mexico. So let's go ahead and get started. Please, just as a reminder, do mute your microphones. There is a microphone icon at the top right-hand side of your screen, and that should be red when it's muted. And feel free to type in questions in the chat box. We'll try to save most of the questions for the end so that we can kind of stay on schedule with the presentation. But if you have a burning question, go ahead and type it into the chat box. Thank you. Okay, so just to get started, this is an overview of EducationUSA Academy for EducationUSA advisors and other partners, including public affairs sections, staff in U.S. embassies and consulates around the world. Just briefly, the objectives and vision of EducationUSA Academy are, 1, to build and sustain a prestigious network across the United States of high-quality, intensive summer English language institutes infused with college preparatory content. And our second goal is to create a pipeline for students who would not necessarily have considered pursuing their undergraduate degrees in the United States, or maybe they lacked the skills in English language or in knowledge of how to apply or in understanding the U.S. higher education system. So we are also, our other goal is to inspire and prepare students to study in the United States. And briefly, a program overview. The main components of the EducationUSA Academy are English language classes, about 20 hours per week, that's a minimum. Some campuses will offer more than 20 hours per week of English. College preparatory content, which will be infused into the English language classes and also offered as extra workshops. Included in the college preparatory workshops are tours of colleges and universities. So while the students will be kept together in cohorts on one U.S. college or university campus for the 3 to 4 week program, included in that program will be tours of campuses of U.S. colleges and universities in the region of that host campus. And then in addition, since this is for teenagers, we definitely want to make sure that there are some fun activities included and lots of interactions with American students and other international students, and a chance to see the community and see some fun regional tourist sites, parks, museums, baseball games, etc. So exposure to U.S. culture. And briefly, the program background. This started out as an idea from our former branch chief, Heidi Arola at EducationUSA, who was a PAO in Recife, Brazil. And she noticed that families were saving up a lot of money to send their students to the United States for vacations at certain periods in their life. So in Brazil, it was for the 15th birthday. And there may be other traditions like this around the world. But she initially had this idea so that she could sort of build off of this idea of sending students to the U.S. for fun and trying to also build up their skills in English and their awareness of U.S. higher education. So that's sort of where this idea came from. We launched a pilot program in 2015, hosted by 2 U.S. universities, University of Colorado Boulder and Syracuse University in upstate New York. And we focused on 5 countries in the Western Hemisphere, being Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, and Peru. And we had a successful, fairly small program of around 30 students in 2015 between the 2 campuses. And now we are launching the program worldwide, including having a cooperative agreement with World Learning to help us expand this network. And we have 10 U.S. host institutions for summer 2016, and we'll be looking at those in a moment. And the program is now open to non-native English speakers from around the world.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Again, this is Eric Christensen. I'm the Program Manager for EducationUSA Academy at World Learning. I'm going to talk a little bit about the target audience for this program. I just want to say briefly, I do see a couple people in the chat window saying that their sound has gone out. That seems to be just a problem that a few people are experiencing. So if I could ask Jennifer or Claudia to use the chat box to ask them to check their sound settings. The target audience for EducationUSA Academy, as Jennifer mentioned, international high school students from around the world. They need to be between the ages of 15 and 17 years old at the time of the summer program. They should be intermediate or advanced level English speakers, and we realize that that is relatively broad terminology. Individual host institutions may have specific requirements for English language proficiency. For example, a minimum TOEFL score for students to be eligible for the program. So in general, students must be intermediate or advanced, but there's some variation in requirements from specific host institutions. Funding. The program model for the Academy is typically that students will be self-paying, so they will be on F visas. There will be a very small amount of scholarship funding, but generally the model for this program, students pay their own way, students and their families. And outreach, a really central component of EducationUSA Academy is that the host institutions in the U.S. draw on the network of EducationUSA advising centers around the world to support publicity and outreach and recruitment efforts for this program. And I do think that going into this year, 2016, is probably one of the most challenging years for the host institutions because this is a brand new program that people are just learning about. So we'll talk in more detail about what we'll ask advising centers to do, but I'll just say now that we're really relying on advising centers to help spread the word about this program. Student safety and health. We're aware that there are already a lot of questions from parents of prospective applicants about health and safety issues. Understandably, some parents are nervous about their children traveling internationally, potentially alone for the first time. So I wanted to say briefly here that there are a lot of checks and in place related to student health and safety. A big component of the proposals from host institutions when we evaluated them back in the fall was their preparation for running a program for students who are minors. So in that sense, staff at all of the host institutions go through background checks. The program provides health insurance for all participants for the duration of the summer. Host institutions have developed and will explain to students what their campus and program policies are. So students will have a strong understanding of that, and that includes things like emergency contact information. The host institutions will pick the students up from the airport and accompany them to the campus and supervise the students throughout the summer. So, for example, while the students are living in dorms, there will be staff, often called resident advisors, who are there responsible for the students and available to them should they need. And I wanted to mention one question that we've been receiving specifically is, will students be chaperoned during their international travel? And the answer for this program is no. We just don't have in place the staffing or the capacity to chaperone groups. But we encourage parents to consider airline unaccompanied minor services. And we've just recently added a link to our website with information about those services offered by several different airlines.
Yeah, hello Eric and Jennifer. If may say something quite briefly, in my experience as EducationUSA advisor with EducationUSA Academy last year, well, living on campus is quite safe for the students. There is a staff, as Eric said, available 24/7 for the students. There are medical services available, computer labs, dining room, everything the students might need is available for them. And it is important to know that legal issues and documents needed for minors traveling, they're available depending on your country. So make some research in your country to advise the students and parents regarding documents to fill. And do some research about airport, because your students will arrive at where your students will arrive at, and let parents know that authorized staff will pick them up. So everything is quite safe, and make the parents feel as well safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. How to apply for this program. So for this particular program, there are 10 host institutions in the U.S. And when students are interested in applying, the student actually picks one of those 10 host institutions and applies directly. On the website, the link is at the top of this slide, educationusaacademy.org/findanacademy. There is the list of the 10 host institutions. Students, their parents, teachers, anyone else can go to this page and actually sort the 10 institutions by program cost, program start date and end date, location, and then links to each of the programs are there on that page. Because each of the host institutions has developed its own application process, there will be some variability there, but in general, the application process involves an application itself, academic records, letter of recommendation, in some cases, as I mentioned, submitting a TOEFL score or another language assessment, and then bank statements showing that there's the financial resources to cover the cost of the program. So we would encourage you, especially as you hopefully start to get more questions and interest about this program, to review each host institution's website so you get a sense of what the program components are that they're offering, as well as the requirements of the application. Program costs. Each of the 10 Academy programs is priced at between $4,000 and $6,000. The host institutions are public and private institutions. Some are in urban areas, some are in smaller communities, so it's natural that there's some price variation. But again, all of them are priced at between $4,000 and $6,000. And in that program cost, what's included? So transportation to and from the airport and to all activities during the summer program, tuition, room and board, books and supplies that they need for classes, health insurance, as I mentioned earlier, the cultural activities that they will have, and of course the campus tours, those visits to at least 3 different institutions of higher education in the region. What's not included is the international travel, visa fees, and any pocket money, spending money that they would need during the summer. So we will transition a little bit now and actually give you a very, very brief overview of each of the 10 host institutions that comprise the Academy network in 2016. And I will start with Diablo Valley College. This is a public community college just outside San Francisco. It's the only community college in 2016 that's part of the Academy Network. So we're excited that it's part of this network. All of the host institutions have the same basic core components of the program. So the 20 hours per week of English, the cultural activities, the campus visits, the college preparatory content. So we won't talk about those for each of these host institutions. But for Diablo Valley College, I will say that one aspect that sets this institution apart is that students will live in host families. At all other host institutions, the students will live in dormitories, but at Diablo Valley, they will live in dorms. So at Diablo Valley, they will live with host families. So if that is a question that you get from students, or a student is interested in this program but really wants to live with a host family, this would be the program to direct them to. And I will turn to Jennifer to talk about Lewis and Clark.
Our next host campus is Lewis and Clark College, which is a private liberal arts college. It's the only small private liberal arts college in the Academy Network for 2016. And it's also our only institution in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And of course, students who are attending Lewis and Clark College will have a chance to visit some larger public universities and the community college in the area as well. This is a beautiful campus. It's a very prestigious college, and Portland is a beautiful city with lots of rich culture and a big focus on nature. And students will have a chance to take a trip to the beach and visit the Columbia River Gorge if they attend Lewis and Clark.
Okay, Northwestern University. This is a large private research university just outside of Chicago, so a pretty urban setting. Northwestern is a host institution that will have a little bit more of a focus on students who are already more advanced in their English language skills. So their minimum TOEFL score required for the program is 80. So for this program, students will be a little bit more advanced, and the curriculum will have more of a focus on content courses. So things like American history, arts, culture, and of course there will be opportunities for the students to visit Chicago on their own and for cultural activities during the summer.
Our next institution is Syracuse University, and as I previously mentioned, Syracuse was one of our 2015 pilot campuses, so this will be their second year offering EducationUSA Academy. Syracuse is an excellent private research university based in upper state New York. So if your students are interested in attending Syracuse, you might just want to clarify to them that while it is in New York State, it's not near New York City. In fact, one of the regional trips offered at Syracuse is a trip to Niagara Falls, which you may understand or know that it is on the border with Canada. So while the students would stay on the New York side, they are actually closer to the Canadian border than they are to New York City. So that's something to clarify. Syracuse is an excellent university. They will offer a lot of TOEFL practice in this particular academy. So if students are really interested in that test preparation, this might be a good campus to direct them to. And of course, they have experience hosting an academy, and they have a number of wonderful both academic components and cultural activities planned.
Temple University. This is a public research university in Philadelphia, so again, a very urban area. Temple is offering 2 different tracks, and you'll see this on the website as well. One is 3 weeks, and the other is 4 weeks. And one of the tracks, the 4-week track, has a focus on English and the arts, and that's arts kind of taken broadly. So literature, music, film, visual arts. That program will involve several visits to places in Philadelphia like museums, concerts, things that fit in with that theme. Temple University is the institution that is the closest to New York, so if students are interested in a trip to New York City, Temple is the one that you should point them in the direction of.
Our next institution is University of Arkansas. This is a large public research university in Arkansas, which is the home of our former president, Clinton. They are offering 2 sessions at Arkansas, similar to Temple. However, at University of Arkansas, both sessions will have the same content. So they're just offering 2 different options in terms of dates that may work better for some students. So you can see the dates on here, but they actually have a program in June, whereas most of our other programs are in July. And this is also one of our most, I think, if not the most affordable of the 10 host campuses, coming in at just a little over $4,000. This is a very beautiful campus, and students go here. Students who go here can really enjoy the outdoors. There are lots of recreational activities such as canoeing, hiking, and visiting a wildlife refuge. Students will also experience a model United Nations simulation here and be paired with conversation partners and have a chance to visit the Clinton Presidential Library. So if you're not familiar with University of Arkansas, I strongly encourage you to look at their website and see what they have to offer.
University of Colorado Boulder. As Jennifer mentioned, this was one of the 2 pilot programs for the Academy in 2015. It's located in Boulder, Colorado, which is about an hour and a half from Denver. So the cultural activities that are part of this program will draw on the institution's proximity to Rocky Mountain National Park, as well as the city of Denver. Students would have the opportunity to visit both during the program. Another thing to note about University of Colorado Boulder, they have planned visits to really fairly diverse institutions of higher education. So Colorado College, Colorado State University, Front Range Community College, and Colorado School of Mines. So students would really get a very broad sense of higher education in the U.S.
Our next campus is University of Hawaii in Manoa, and this is a unique campus in that it will provide students with an American cultural experience in terms of sort of U.S. culture, but also a unique Hawaiian flavor of U.S. culture. And students going here will receive courses in English language, but they'll also receive courses in intercultural communication and academic study skills, as well as the other college preparatory content. Students will meet twice a week with conversation partners, and they will be able to participate in Hawaiian cultural workshops, such as hula dancing and lei making workshops. And of course, they will have an opportunity, not only is it a rich academic program at University of Hawaii, but the students will also have the opportunity to explore the island of Oahu, hike Diamond Head, visit the Honolulu Zoo, and they will also have a weekend stay with a local family so that they can really experience firsthand American and Hawaiian culture.
Okay, University of North Georgia. This is a public research university. It's located about an hour north of the city of Atlanta. So it's in a small town, but there is proximity to a large urban area, and students would visit that during the summer. In addition to the campus visits that each host institution organizes as part of their academy program, University of North Georgia is planning on incorporating a series of guest speakers into their program from within the university. So faculty members, career counselors, the admissions office staff. So students should be able to get, I think, a pretty thorough understanding of kind of the workings of the university itself at North Georgia.
And our final 2016 Academy host campus is Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. Washington University is one of the top private research universities in the United States. It is located in the beautiful city of St. Louis, which is very well known for the Arch, for those of you who have not been there. The English classes here will include book clubs, trips, and presentations. And they will be offering a number of college success workshops addressing 2 areas of college preparation. 1, how to apply to an American college, and 2, how to be successful in the American classroom. Students will have a chance to tour the St. Louis area, visit the St. Louis Arch, and Six Flags amusement park, which is a big draw, as well as attending a St. Louis Cardinals baseball game. This is another excellent institution offering an Education USA Academy in 2016. Now I'd like to transition a little bit onto what is the role of Education USA advisors and partners in terms of the Education USA Academy. So we are asking, and I know that many of you are already doing this, and we really appreciate your efforts to help us here, but to please promote this program widely. Since this is a new program, and this is the first time that we're launching this worldwide, we need help to spread the word about this opportunity. So we encourage you to work in coordination with local U.S. embassies to publicize this program widely to targeted audiences. Obviously, this is not going to be for everybody, since the average cost of the program is around $5,000 plus, of course, international airfare. So there may be specific audiences to whom you can target this information. And if you are able to hold an informational session, post on social media about it, post the flyers that we've created, we encourage you to do that. We also, as Eric mentioned, encourage you to familiarize yourself with the program in general, and of course we're attempting to help you with that by providing this overview. But we also encourage you to visit our website, edusaacademy.org, and learn a little bit about each of the host campuses, a little more than what we've provided here. In some cases, Academy host institutions may reach out to you, especially if you are an Education USA advisor, and we encourage you to take that opportunity to learn more about their program. While we do not want you to promote one campus over another, just as you do in your daily work promoting U.S. higher education in general and our over 4,000 accredited colleges and universities in the U.S., we do ask that you try to find a good fit for the student and help them navigate the application process. So it's not too much different than your day-to-day, duties. If host institutions reach out to you, feel free to reply to them and interact with them. And then also, if you can share questions with us that you're getting from students. For example, we have a couple here for you that we've been getting. One is, where do we direct students who have excellent English skills already? So they've been studying for years at a private English institution or an American school or international school, and they have amazing English skills. This is an ESL program, so where do we direct them? So Eric reached out to our host institutions to clarify this. And these 4 listed here, Diablo Valley College, Lewis and Clark College, Northwestern University, and University of Colorado Boulder, all said that they will have cohorts targeted at those very high proficiency English speakers. And another question we've gotten has to do with pre-departure orientations. Now, some of you may be familiar that we encouraged public affairs sections in U.S. embassies and other Education USA stakeholders and partners to support scholarships for disadvantaged students to attend the Academy. And we have had a very good response. So I think public affairs sections will be able to fund around 40 scholarships for this coming Academy. So we're very excited about that. And the students who are coming on scholarship, just as other students who are going on ECA exchange programs, usually public affairs sections will offer some sort of pre-departure orientation for those students. So if they're able to do that for Academy students, and they may reach out to you to help with those orientations, we encourage that whenever possible. But just so you know, all of the host campuses will also be offering virtual pre-departure orientations, which will be very specific to their individual campuses, and we'll go over arrival logistics and how they'll be picking everybody up at the airport and what those first few days will look like, and a brief overview of the program at their campus. So those are the types of the kind of two different types of pre-departure orientations that will be happening.
Great. And before we go on, I see that we have a question about student eligibility based on their age. So if a student is turning 15 during the summer, would he be eligible? And Jennifer, I'll maybe let you answer that, but I think the answer is the students need to be between 15 and 17 for the entire summer program.
That's right. So if the student, on the first day of the program, the student needs to be at least 15 years old. So if they're 14, they would be too young. And similarly, we've gotten questions around if the student is going to be turning 18 during the program, would they be eligible? And the answer to that question is also no, unfortunately. But because we are very intent on ensuring the safety and security of these minors on this program, and these institutions and our states have very strict laws about programs for minors, we cannot mix a student who is 18 and above with students who are younger than 18. That is for legal reasons and for safety reasons. So thank you for that question. And now I'm going to pass the presentation over to our very experienced and lovely advisor in Mexico, Claudia Ortiz Luca. She worked closely with 8 students in 2015 who attended our pilot EducationUSA Academy, and she's going to share some tips and best practices in terms of how she promoted the program, how she worked with the students who were getting ready to go, and how she communicated with their families. So Claudia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you as well for the introduction, the very nice introduction. Well, as Jennifer mentioned, I will share with you some tips and best practices based on my experience on how to prepare students and their families for this EducationUSA Academy Summer Program 2016. If we go to the slide and on how to prepare them, well, I suggest to keep close communication with parents, introduce yourself, have a phone call, and if it's possible to have a meeting with them, would be great. Parents need to feel someone they have direct contact with, in this case you as an advisor, who is responsible and willing to deal with anything they might need. Provide them your email, your office phone number. I also gave them my mobile number to text me, and it really worked. Some parents are more intense than others, so feel free to provide as many communication devices as you consider appropriate. Remember, you are an essential contact, and you might even become part of their families by living hand-to-hand this process and experience with them. Be sure to know the services provided between the U.S. higher education institutions so you can advise the students and parents on their way to find the best fit for them. Keep students and parents informed about what they need to accomplish in terms of preparation. Filling formats, have the necessary documents and copies, parents' legal authorization letters maybe, visa appointments, packing, savings for the trip, etc. Once you know where each student will attend, ask the host institutions about the packing list. Make some adjustments as needed because the location and the weather varies. And share to the students and family. I have a suggested packing list for students that joined EducationUSA Academy at CU Boulder and Syracuse last year. So if you have teens attending any of those options, please let me know, and I'm happy to translate it from Spanish to English and send it to you. Give a pre-departure orientation with relevant info, including details on the programs, travel issues, important documents, what to carry at the airport, emergency contacts in their home country, including yours. as well as in the U.S. What to expect when arriving in the U.S., precautions, what to bring, what to leave at home, etc. And advise them on how they could manage efficiently their budget. Students and parents need to be aware about the extra activities included, and it's relevant to be well prepared with pocket money for personal expenses and or shopping. Why not? Motivate them. Make them feel safe, accompanied, and excited. For many families, might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. For others, can represent the beginning of a professional development. Who knows? And I can guarantee that for you, Education USA advisor, will be a life-changing experience as well. No matter how many obstacles you might face, give your best and keep calm. You are not alone. There is a lot of experts accompanying you. I suggest as well to search on internet maps of the airports your teens are traveling to and print them. You can mark relevant places like international arrival gates, immigration and customs, baggage claim, and explain to the students respectively. That will give them a clear idea on where they will arrive and where to go step by step. And if you have the chance, you can also list the steps to follow. As Jennifer mentioned on the chat, and encourage students travel together. If we go to the next slide, please. Yeah, the quick tips. Do not leave nerves wins. There are a lot of tasks to do and maybe a lot of students to advise, hopefully, and you'll need your full attention and patience. Suggest them to check all the documents they are filled correctly, make sure there are no mistakes, and ask them to have 2 or 3 sets of copy of all these documents. Provide some tips on how to manage their budget. I strongly suggest you to help them with that. Kindly remind them that all activities, of course, are included, but if they join more campus visits, baseball games, I don't know, go to museums, etc. All these places have stores, and it is important to have in mind that 4 weeks full of events and cultural activities are yet to come. So emphasize on the importance of administering the budget. Remind them once and again to eat healthy, keep themselves hydrated, and be careful with junk food. What else? Oh, use social media and internet to keep in touch with them. I'd like to share with you that last year I created a private Facebook group to keep in touch with them frequently. I also gave them my mobile phone to text them, to share some pictures, inspiring words, or just if any of them felt the need to hear a friendly voice, well, I gave them my phone number. I gave them of course, I gave them personal space to my kids and texted them briefly asking about how was everything going and sharing with them the satisfaction and joy of being in such a great experience. But it depends of each personality of your students, so you will know. And you can be in contact once a week with parents as well. If you feel like the family might need it, to let them know that their kids are great, so you can call them or you can contact them. Ask them to have some precautions, like taking care of their personal stuff, to bring them copies of their documents the whole time, and leave the originals in a safe place, to know the emergency contacts, bring prescriptions if necessary, stay close to the group when going out of the campus, follow the staff's instructions, etc. Sometimes they feel worried, the parents feel worry about the kids' wellness, and it is quite common. But to parents calling the kids 2 or 3 times a day is too much. So encourage parents to give their kids a chance to meet them, and if it's quite necessary, parents can also contact the higher education institution to ask about their own kid. It is important to be aware. To aware the students about the cultural differences, so they might need to adapt as a common process when studying abroad, and they will need to feel them constructively. They will develop culture sensibility and be totally respectful. Sometimes the student might face an unusual reaction from other kids, so suggest them to be observers and respectful. Others will also learn from them as well. Everyone has similar experiences. It is normal to go through some ups and downs when they first arrive, so ask them to talk to other students who are going through the same thing. They will get through it. If we should change to the next slide, thank you. What did the students gain from EducationUSA Academy program? Well, they are responsible for cleaning their rooms, so independence is the first of all. They do their laundry, they do their homework, they need to eat well, so they are responsible of their finances as well, which leads to develop greater self-confidence. These students also improve their English language skills. They communicate to others in English and also learn from US students. So that's great. They practice a lot. They have contact with the teachers. The teachers are great. They make new friends from other countries. They learn from other cultures, increasing their cultural sensibility, as I mentioned. And, well, Mexican students I had contact with reaffirmed that this summer program is one of the best experiences of their lives. So, this summer program also inspired them and motivated them to return to the United States to pursue their undergraduate studies. If we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, these are quotes from some Mexican students sharing this life-changing adventure. I am pretty sure your students will share this positive experience with you as well. I also kindly invite you to visit the Share America website, where two of my students were interviewed by Leah Terune from International Information Programs Bureau of U.S. Department of State, and spread the word with your advisees, your high school contacts, and even on social media. So this program has more exposure and impact on this audience. If you have questions or concerns regarding on how to walk through this process with EducationUSA Academy candidates, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'll be happy to support you based on my last experience. I am pretty sure that, well, every of us will learn from each experience, gaining knowledge and improving our best practices. So I will write on the chat my email if you want to contact me. Please do not hesitate. Thank you.
Claudia, thank you so much. Once again, Claudia has gone above and beyond in terms of preparing students and their families for this experience and supporting them throughout the experience, and then working with these students as alumni afterward. If these students are not already going to an EducationUSA Advising Center, once they are EducationUSA Academy alumni, we really encourage you to bring them into the center as advisees. And if they went on a scholarship from your public affairs section, they could perhaps join an opportunity funds cohort if you have that program in your country. We really want to focus on building this pipeline to U.S. higher education and creating opportunities for students to be successful in U.S. higher education. We have created a number of promotional materials to help you publicize this program, and hopefully you've seen some of these already. Claudia mentioned the shareamerica.gov article that profiled several 2015 EducationUSA Academy students, and I put the link up on that on the chat box to that article. We also have 2 Instagram videos. They're really short 15-second videos to promote the program on social media. We have draft press releases, other social media posts that you could use, files with the logo of the Academy, just general flyers, as well as each host institution has also created a flyer on their specific program, sometimes in more than one language. And then we have an overview PowerPoint presentation as well. And the sites here are up on the site, or up on this presentation. So everything is posted on the EducationUSA SharePoint site if you have a state.gov email address. On the resource space, if you're an EducationUSA advisor, you have access to that. And then also on our Google Drive, we have a separate EducationUSA Academy folder under EducationUSA official designs in that area of the Google Drive. So please feel free to use these resources to publicize the program and let us know if you need additional resources.
Okay.
And I'll pass this last slide over to Eric. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. If there are questions or feedback now, we'll be happy to try to answer those. I saw in the chat box there was one question, can students apply to more than one host institution? I guess there's not really a simple answer to that. The short answer is yes, they can. There's nothing to prevent them from doing that, but I guess we would kind of ask advisors to maybe help students decide on their first choice host institution, apply to that one, and then see what happens, rather than applying to multiple host institutions. Jennifer, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I would agree. Most of these host institutions have plenty of slots available at this point. So if the students are serious students with fairly good performance in school, or good to great performance in school, and have at least 2 to 3 years of English language study experience, and they're very serious about attending an academy, it is very likely that they will be accepted to their top choice institution as long as they apply before the deadline. And of course, each host institution has a different deadline. So we encourage you to work with students to help identify, which campus would be the best fit for them. If they want to apply to more than one, they can. But we're hoping not to create too much confusion for the host institutions, and so that they can all move forward with their programs.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. So if there are other questions now, we're happy to try to take those. We've also listed our contact information on this slide. So Jennifer's email address, and then my, not my email address, but a general email address for the program, edusaacademy@worldlearning.org. That's an inbox that I'm monitoring. There are actually a lot of questions coming in from prospective students, different people around the world. So if you have questions, you can send them there, and I will be sure to see them and try to get back to you as soon as possible. The website URL for the program is listed down here at the bottom of the page. I will say that this is a brand new website for the program. We just launched the website itself in December. So we're very open to feedback. If there is information that you think we should maybe consider adding to the website that would help prospective students or advisors, please do let us know. The website itself is still growing. And then I've got the hashtag that we're using for this program at the bottom of the slide, EduSA, so EdUS Academy. This is a hashtag that we're using on Facebook, on Twitter. We will begin using Instagram this summer when we have more actual photos of the program coming in. So if you do post on social media about the program, I would ask you to use the hashtag if space allows. It helps us keep track of kind of all of the traffic and information on social media. You've also perhaps been seeing the Education USA social media digests coming out on the weekly basis. We've been including information on individual host institutions in the, I believe, the 2 most recent weekly digests. So if you see those coming through and you're able to share that information, we really appreciate that as well. So Jennifer, do you have anything else you would like to add?
I think that's it. Just to highlight what Eric said, each week in the social media digest, we will be focusing on 1 to 2 Academy host institutions for the next month or so. So please look for those posts. And otherwise, thank you very much to both Eric and Claudia for your collaboration on this presentation, and for doing these presentations early in the morning and late at night. And we really appreciate all of you for your attention to our presentation today, for your excellent questions. And please feel free to continue contacting us with questions and feedback. We really look forward to receiving your students and supporting you in your efforts to publicize this program and to support students and families who attend the program. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.